Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for coming and meeting us today. My name is Patricia Cardona, and this is my husband, Daniel Cardona, and we're the co-founders of the Cosmic Mystery School. We started the Cosmic Mystery School with our elder, Humbat's men, and Dan's going to show some pictures of Humbat. You get to see some of his beautiful face. Back in 1996 when we met him in Mexico, and he asked us to start the school. So ever since then we've been teaching about the Maya, their studies, taking people on spiritual journeys there. We go pretty much every year. Next year we're going to go. We went this year at the end of January, February. We're going again next year. We go to Peru with our Peruvian elder. We work with the elders pretty much wherever it is we're going. And we really want to be able to share their knowledge and wisdom. We have grown and changed ourselves so much through working with the sacred sites and the wisdom of the elders, and we want to share that with you so that you can have that opportunity to feel the frequencies, the vibrations, all those kind of things, which is what the Maya were all about, which is what the pyramid sites are all about, it's everything. People working through the ages, and untold periods of time. We're finding out more and more, like the handout I just handed out, the brief part of the handout on the Montana Megaliths. That place blows your mind that it's here in the United States. We never heard about it. It's just being discovered and worked with, and it's so ancient. It's beyond many of the places that we ever visited in Europe and many different countries. So there's so much here, and we're all here at this time. We all chose to come in here now to discover these things and be part of this vibrational frequency for an opportunity to change ourselves and move up and help the earth move up and end in each other. So it's a double process going on here. So I wanted to just start out for a minute with you. Oh, I've seen some of my friends over there too that I just saw now. Hi. So I want to have you have a chance to experience some of the frequency and energy and receive a gift from me of that sacred energy, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is, I work with a lot of different energies. If you ever read any of the Carlos Castaneda book, he talked about having cooperative spirits or energies that would help you, okay? Well, that goes to say with minerals and plants and sacred sites and many things, there are cooperative energies that can help you and that you can bring in and channel in. But you have to be very careful what it is you do, because there are a lot of things out there. You don't want to just contact anything that's out there. You want to make sure that you're bringing in something that's very sacred and spiritual and loving, full of love and light. That's why all the things we say are full of love and light, because that's the energy we're interested in. That's what we want to connect to. That's what we want to broadcast to you. Okay? So in the Maya lands, I knew I wouldn't be able to do it here today. In different places we are, you can't actually use some of the sacred energies, the sacred copal energy. You can't actually use that here, because it's a resin from a tree that you put on a charcoal, and then a beautiful, beautiful bunch of white smoke comes up off of it, and the smell is so pungent and wonderful. And you use that to clean your body, mind, and spirit, and send a message to the powers that be above. And anyways, but because I've been working with this so long, and that part of my job as a fire priestess is to work with that sacred resin and that sacred energy, I've developed a relationship with it. And that's what everything about is about in life, is relationship. Okay? So I've developed a relationship with the copal itself. So it's willing to come in and work with us, even if I can't light the charcoal, I can't put the actual chunk of beautiful white resin on the charcoal to let it bubble up and flow its energy. I can bring that energy in. And I'm going to bring that into you now to help clean you, okay? So that you can receive energy and know the vibrational frequency of this energy, okay? All right. So I'm calling on the higher forces. I'm calling on the higher forces. Please seal this room and this space to any and all negativity, and align it to light and love of God, the light and love of God on all levels, the light and love of God. I'm calling upon the sacred copal now, beautiful copal resin. And I'm asking you to come into us now here and flood this room and fill these people's hearts, minds, and spirits with the beautiful copal. copal energy coming in now. Beloved Couple, we thank you for starting us on this process today, for cleaning and clearing our auric fields so we may experience a greater reality, so we may be attuned to a higher frequency by your beloved essence cleaning us now. Okay. You look relaxed. Enjoy that? Nice experience, feeling the beautiful copal energy, the very lovely frequency. It's such a beautiful frequency. That sacred copal tree gives us that frequency, lets us experience that and receive that energy. It gives us its blessing. You know, it's a very resin of the tree, so it gives us that blessing. So we're grateful. I've learned to work with a lot of different energies. I'm not going to bring them all in here today, but I've learned to resonate with these different frequencies, develop relationships with different energies, and some of them are for cleansing and clearing, which is really important. A lot of the problems that we have with our health, our body, mind, and spirit is due to stuff building up inside our system, just because we live in life, right? We're exposed to all kinds of things every day, in the environment around us, the people we meet, the televisions, you know, everything. We're exposed to so much. And our fields get cluttered up with things. So having a routine of cleansing and clearing yourself and removing those things from yourself so that your body can run freely, so that your spirit can flow freely, that's part of the health and healing process that we all need to do. So it's very, very important. So that's why we always start out with the cleansing and clearing part before we bring in any other kinds of energies. Now, I'm trying to remind myself, because I could just go on and on. We don't have that much time. So I'm trying to remind myself what I said I was going to do today. So one of the things I'm going to use to bring in a different kind of energy for you that you can experience, this is a meditation that I learned from the sun, the sacred sun. The sacred sun is very important in the Maya lands. It's very important in the Maya lands. And we really work with the sun's energy. Humbatsman, he's passed now, but when he, one time we were with him at Uk Mall, which is a really, really beautiful pyramid site in the Maya lands, and he said, we were sitting there with the sun and doing meditations and different things, and he said, I want to come back next time as a flower. I just want to be planted here in front of this beautiful temple, and then I can just follow the sun all day long. Because flowers do that, they follow the sunlight all day long. That's all I want for my life. I just want to be that flower and sit here in this energy and follow the sun. And he did beautiful meditations and taught and worked with us, you know, so beautifully with the sun. You know, it was really wonderful and taught us things. So, anyways, one day I was meditating at home, and I was in relationship with the sun and talking to the sun, and I actually saw a face come in, which is really interesting. The sun's face. I actually saw the sun's face kind of come in the room, and I was feeling humanity's pain and suffering, and which is why I got talked into coming here. But anyways, feeling the pain and suffering, and I wanted something that I could do and share with them that they could do themselves anytime they needed to, so that they could help themselves to quickly release negativity and put themselves in a good space again. Because always we're exposed to things, always we can get pulled off line, but coming back into line, to the alignment we want to have, okay? So anyways, they gave me this meditation, and I want to share that with you today. It's pretty simple. I'm going to demonstrate it for you, and then you're going to do it with me, okay? But first, you should have the demonstration first, okay? So part of the Mayan language is really profound, and part of it is some of their words, so to speak, are actually resonance and frequency. It's a really mantric language. Their whole language is like that. It's really amazing. But this particular frequency is a vibrational frequency, and the spelling of it is L-O-L, lol, okay? So in relationship with that frequency, I'm going to show you this. So I'm going to demonstrate it for you, okay? I'll tell you what I'm doing as I'm doing it. So I picture the sun. I love the sun. Picture the sun, and I was asking the sun for this blessing, so it gave me this image, and I created a sun inside my hands, okay? And I held it in front of me. And then, because I wanted to develop a really good relationship with that, I wanted to send it love and give it good energy. So I started singing to the sun and toning to it, okay? So I started toning to it. And I just found myself naturally moving, of course, you know, because it's just did. And anyways, so I sang to it for a while, and that you can do a whole kind of thing of singing to it and you're creating an incredible ball of energy is what you're doing. Your own little sun, okay? You sing to it, you're creating that energy of your own little sun. And after we dance with it and sing with it for a while, we're gonna bring it up to the, we'll do it together. We're gonna dance and sing with it to that ball of sun we're creating, and then you're gonna bring it up to the top, over your head, and you're gonna drop it and let it go into you and just go down all the way through your body, filling your body with that beautiful sun energy and love energy you just created, okay? And you can do that, I mean, you can do that in 5 minutes. So if you're having a bad day, why? You know, make it a good day, right? Fill your little sun ball full of energy and give yourself that love. And the sun is happy to do that. I mean, it's blistering, it's full of energies, right? So we're not like cheating the sun or anything. And we're developing our relationship with the sun and with ourselves, okay? So if you can sit there and do it, or you can stand up and try to stand something. It's totally up to you. You know, there is space in this room, and you're welcome to move anywhere you want first. But anyways, you can just follow along with me if you would like, okay? Above your head and just drop it into your crown chakra, going all the way through your body, feeling that energy just enter into your crown chakra and flow down through your body, going into your heart, filling your body with the love and light of the sun. And that was just brief. I mean, we did that very briefly, but you can do it for as long and as much as you want and put whatever kind of movement you want into it, you know, of moving your body and that kind of thing to energize it, because you're energizing that ball of love and light and sun, and then you're giving it to yourself and letting it go through your whole body to feed yourself. Okay? And the earth is happy to have you to do that.
Like Patricia said, I'm Daniel, and we're going to do a meditation also to connect and ground ourselves with the earth energy and the cosmic energy. But I'm going to show you some slides just to kind of get that mental picture, because working with energies has a lot to do with our mental pictures. Sometimes it's called imagination, but I don't really like that word so much anymore because it has a negative content. Sort of a meaning, I guess. And imagination sort of means, I guess nowadays, that we're kind of making something up. But when we're visualizing something, or we're sensing something, I mean, I can sense my clothes, but you can also sense the energy in the room, or when you walk into a room. We are using our imagination, but we're really using our mind's eye. And so we have these 5 senses. We can see and hear and taste and smell and feel. But we also have these energetic senses, because we have a whole energetic anatomy, right? And it's all about how we focus our intention. So I'm going to just show a few slides. And in fact, every one of these slides could probably be a seminar in itself. But Hunbat's men, and we have been studying with Hunbat since 1996 until his passing in 2016, but he often used this phrase. And I thought initially, well, it's just this translation from Maya to Spanish to English, but he meant inside. So you can learn about the Maya intellectually, and there's wonderful facts to learn, and there's nothing wrong with that, and books and books and books, and numbers and everything else. But we learned from Hunbat's men and other Mayan elders how to really go inside and understand at a deeper level what the Maya were really trying to talk about, and we'll just touch on that. And this is something else that's really important for the Maya, is to understand their science, you have to understand their religion. And to understand the religion, you have to know the science, because it was all one. It wasn't separated. Nowadays, in some of the modern religions, some of them at least, we have science and we have religion, and they never meet. In fact, they often fight. But not for the Maya. And the art was that everything that we saw in the Mayan lands, every stucco, every high relief, low relief, pyramid decorations on the pyramid, paintings, was their science and art. I mean, their science and religion. So it's all there. It's going away, but it's because of the elements, but it's still there. And there are many people who are studying the Maya on a deeper level. And this is Hunbat's men. He's at Lowell Bay. He built a sacred site. Things had changed in the Mayan lands so that the government was preventing a lot of ceremony from happening at some of the sites for a variety of reasons. So he said, build his own. This is Lowell Bay. It's about 30 miles outside of Mérida. It's in between Mérida and the sacred pyramids at Chichen Itza. So Hunbat's was very serious about ceremony, but he was also very fun-loving. He loved to laugh, he loved to joke, and we were talking about some of Hunbat's history, and he didn't go to regular school because one of his uncles recognized him as somebody special, and so he was taught from the age of 6. But he could speak and write in Mayan language, in one of the Mayan languages, Itzá Maya, in Spanish and in English. And he was very, you could talk to him about any current event, and he just seemed to be so immersed in that, as well as the Mayan world. And when he spoke and when he did things, he's a very humble person. There were a lot of us who studied with Hunbat's, but he made it very clear that he wasn't our leader, that he wanted all of us to sort of stick to what we knew, what we had learned, and we're all we were trying to create a cosmic university. And because of his humbleness and his relationship with the elements, like Patricia was talking about, it wasn't unusual to see some very interesting phenomena. He always wore white, and we used to marvel. We would be in the Mayan lands, and whether it was raining or it was dusty, we had all the elements all over us, but his clothes always remained white. So I don't know how he did that. Ceremony. This is, we are doing a ceremony for the setting sun at a temple. This is a picture of the sacred site that he created. And so we were finishing, after ceremony, we do song, dance, and music. And so this is a picture, this is another building on the sacred site that he created. And here we're going into the house of tea. So in one sense, we're literally going into a place where we're going to be immersed in the Mayan. And so ceremony. Lots and lots of ceremony. And here's a incensario. It's an incense burner. And burning copal. and then we have ceremony. The ceremony is so important, and you can create your own ceremony, or you can learn ceremony from an elder or someone who is immersed in the lineage. And if you create your own ceremony every day, it has a huge impact on your life. I mean, even simple routine. I'm a child psychiatrist, so I always try to get parents to put their kids on those routines because they have no routine and they sleep in on the weekends or wild. But once you get them on a routine, even a simple routine of getting up at the same time, kids behave. And then if you create a sacred routine that you do, it's incredibly powerful. If you do a ceremony that has been taught, through the ages from the ancestors, you're bringing in all that wisdom, from the lineage. So that's important. If you've been shown or you learned in some way, that's even more powerful. And when you go inside the Mayan language, you learn things that are not in the books. This is difficult to see. This is at the ball court, and those of you know in Chichen Itza, at the ball court, it's talked about there was this game, this ball game, and then sometimes you read that the winner lost his head, and other stories, the loser lost his head. This is at the ball court. So here we have the headless warrior, and behind him is a priest. And then over here, we have another Mayan priest. And so you can see his headdress and his face, and then he's holding a head. There's a head here. You can see the head. And he's got a helmet on. And here's the headless warrior, and here's his head. So that's where that story came from. But the only way you can really go inside the Mayan language is to really understand. And just briefly, what's going on here is this warrior is an apprentice, and he's lost his ego. And when we lose our ego, represented here by the head, our powers emerge. And right here we have the 7 serpents. And if you look carefully, it's not blood coming out of his neck. Here's his torso, he's kneeling. We have 7 serpents representing the 7 powers. So that's one example of why it's so important to really understand what the Maya were teaching. There's another wall, I don't have a picture of it, all these skulls. Why were the Maya so immersed in all these skulls? And it's kind of like in martial arts schools, the top students have their diplomas up there when they make black belt. And that was kind of like the wall of fame also for them. All these egos that had been lost, and then diplomas, And here's Chichen Itza. This is on the equinox. And we have the 7 serpents. So this occurs on the spring equinox and fall equinox. The serpent of the 7 triangles, the 7 powers, comes down, comes into us, and goes back up. Everything about the pyramids and temples was deliberate. Every brick, every indentation. At one time these were covered in stucco and painted. Everything is significant with the cosmos, Mother Earth, and ourselves. Humbats used to say that the pyramids represented physical representation, a sacred representation, geometric representation of each one of us. Here we have somebody coming, a warrior, he's coming out of the snake. He's not being eaten, the Mayan priest. So Kan is the Mayan word for serpent, but Kan also has many meanings, and Kan also means energy and knowledge and wisdom and learning and teach and master and all these things. So in one word we have all these meanings. And so ceremony is incredibly important. But then the calendars were really important. And we, the fact that the Maya had these calendars, we all know about them. I think there are at least 18 calendars. And the calendars were not like ours. Their calendars were the cycles, the celestial cycles. And so one of the most important cycles for the Maya, for many, especially the Itza Maya, was the 52 calendar of the Pleiades. And Tubinkak is its name. And that was incredibly important because, I'll show you in a little while, it's a 52-year cycle. The Maya believed that we were part of the Pleiades. Humbat said that actually 8 stars of the Pleiades. Our sun is part of the Pleiades. And the Pleiades is part of the constellation of Taurus inside the Milky Way. Here is at Hunbat's site, Low Bay, in the spring equinox. You just feel that energy coming out of there. Very powerful. We often left our hotel at 3 o'clock in the morning, so we'd be there for the sun. But it was worth it. As Patricia can tell you, I'm not a morning person, but to see that, that's... Okay. And so now, Hunbat's also spoke about the calendars and the cosmos. Here is Hunabku, the Mayan word for creator, great spirit. We have the square and the circle, and it can be translated as the movement and measure. And anybody familiar with quantum physics knows that everything exists in both a particle form and a wave form, and we have the movement and the measure. In the Mayan understanding, they understood that completely. The movement being the wave form that we all are, and the measure being the physicality of us at the same time. And who knows, so much more that can be said about that. But Hunbat's created, I don't know how many posters. I mean, we've seen so many posters, and you can't quite see all the detail, but he was a shaman and a mathematician and an astronomer and all these things. And here he's beginning to explain the calendars. One-on-one calendars. Okay, so why the calendars? So we talked briefly about ceremony, and we're going to do a meditation in just a moment. This is the Pleiades. And beginning around October, November, if you go outside around 10 p.m. and face east, you can start to see the Pleiades come up. Now, with your naked eye, it's hard to see, but you'll see what looks like a cluster of stars, but kind of like it's like cotton up there. And if you look off to a little to the side, because those of us who know about how to look at night, you look at night directly at something, but off to the side, and you can see it, you'll see this. But it's tiny. If you just get a pair of just normal binoculars, 8 power, you can almost see it this clearly. That's the Pleiades. The calendars are not just these mathematical things describing. If we talk about nature, we know that going outside and listening to the birds and feeling the wind and looking at the green grass and the leaves on the tree, it does remarkable things to our body and mind. There was a study they did. They can do all these things now. They can measure your brain. They can tell you when you're tired. Now, we know when we're tired. If you work on your taxes or you're studying or whatever, you know you're mentally tired. But they have these fancy PET scans and so forth, actually functional MRI now. And they can look at your brain cells and they can say they're depleted, all right? And then the interesting thing was, they wanted to know, these scientists, what was the fastest and most effective way to replenish the energy stores of the brain cells. And so they said, okay, let's look at some people who took a nap, some people who ate a snack, some people who did meditation briefly, all the same amount of time, and then going outside. And of course, you know what the answer is. Isn't that remarkable? And the Japanese are now studying the same phenomenon, and they call this the Shinrin Yoko, which means like forest walking. And so they're doing all this research on all the benefits of just going out in the forest. So we know that if you pay attention to nature, you put the books down just for a few minutes and go outside, remarkable effects on our body and mind and spirit. So nobody yet has focused on what happens when we focus on the cosmos. But can you imagine? So the calendars were part of that. And just if you decide, it's not necessary to study the Mayan calendars, but like the previous slide of the equinox and the sun coming through, if you start paying attention to when the equinox occurs and the solstice occurs and all of that, you start to make that connection. And if you go outside one of these days, and if it's not your favorite constellation, but just notice when it comes up and pay attention to it, a cheap pair of binoculars. You don't have to get a fancy telescope. And you can see amazing things. And you start paying attention to the cosmos, and it changes you. And that was one of the reasons that Hunbats wanted us to at least learn something about the calendars. So here are the names of the 7 stars. Alcyon is the biggest and the central star of the Pleiades. And one of the calendars, the Great Year, which I'm sure many of you know about, is the approximately 26,000 year calendar. And the Tzeket in Mayan. And our tiny little solar system relative to all these takes exactly 26,000 years. So our solar system rotates around Alcyon. Some of the scientists say that, our axis of the Earth is 23 degrees off, and it does this, and it takes approximately 26,000 years. So that phenomenon occurs also. But for the Maya, it was our traveling around here. And the ancient Hindus talk about the yugas. So the great solar year, there are 4 seasons. Right now things are getting chaotic because we're becoming at the end of a season. And the next season, according to many cultures, is going to be the Golden Age. And here's Alcyon, 26,000 years. Here's our Milky Way. And here's kind of a stylized representation of our Milky Way. And so we're on one of the arms, and we're way out here. And, the Taurus constellation is here, and then when inside Taurus is M45, which is the constellation of Pleiades. And you couldn't, at this magnification, you couldn't even see us. And then around that, we are circling Alcyon. So that gives you just, how big the Milky Way must be. Apparently 100,000 light years across. And the Milky Way is a small galaxy. So we're traveling around here, and it takes us 26,000 years to go around Alcyon out here somewhere. So let's do this meditation. So I wanted to set this scene. And so you can go ahead and you don't need to close your eyes, but just let your eyelids relax a little bit. If you want to close your eyes, it's fine. Sit up straight if you can, or you can either move your backside on the chair forward, sit up straight. Sometimes we hear, as if a string we're pulling on the top of our, and that's one way to look at it, but the other is if you were suspended. And when you pretend that you're suspended, not just something pulling up, but that you're hanging from it, all of your muscles along your spine should relax. Not only should you feel taller, but your torso and your pelvis will drop a little bit. When we're tense, we actually shrink our spine. When we relax, our spine naturally elongates. So you can use your mind's eye to be suspended. The pelvis drops a little bit, a little taller. Relax those muscles. Just enjoy that feeling. They say attention is the enemy of energy flow. Relax towards healing. So just relax the muscles. Allow the spine to extend. Open your hands a little bit. You can either create a mudra if you have a favorite mudra, or open your palms, extend your fingers in a relaxed way. Energy flows. Same with your feet. And then make sure that the balls of your feet are touching for a good electromagnetic connection. There's an important little spot there along the balls of your toes. It's really important. Now focus on the center. Stay relaxed, elongated, hands open. Focus on your center. Center just below your navel. And naturally what's going to start to happen is you'll start to notice a connection with the center of the earth start to form as you relax and relax. And then there's a center that starts to go upward and starts to brighten and connect with the Milky Way, the center of the Milky Way. Try to feel it. Use your mind's eye, imagination, feel that. That's how we communicate with nature and the cosmos and energies, through our imagination, our mind's eye. Feel it. See it if you wish. Allow that connection. I'll give you a minute or so to allow that to form. Feel it. See it. Know that it's happening. Feel it, see it, know it. Now relax your breath. Don't change it. Just allow your breath to be. And slowly become aware of the little pauses at the end of an in-breath and at the end of an out-breath. And as you relax your breathing, those pauses will start to increase. Don't worry, you won't stop breathing, but just notice those pauses. Stay connected to the center of the earth, the central sun of the Milky Way, and enjoy those pauses. It's been said that God exists, Hunaku, between the breath. Hunaku exists between the breath. Allow that connection to grow. Allow yourself to spend more time between the breath. And when you're ready between the breath, allow some ego to be released, either to the central sun or the center of the earth. Something you get frustrated about, something you get angry about, something you feel guilty about, something you still feel hurt about. Let that go. Between the breath. allow an ego to die. Now as we slowly return our consciousness back to our body, we're going to concentrate this energy that we've gathered, and we're going to fill that void with that ego that we let go. In that space, slowly see that energy come back. Fill your body. Your aura will brighten. Continue to concentrate down into your center. And it's getting bright. It might even warm you up. You might start sweating. Allow that to concentrate and concentrate into a bright star in your center. And when you're there, cover it with both hands. Cover your center with both hands. Allow that to spread throughout your body. It's concentrated, but allow the energy to spread throughout your body. Just relax there. Patricia and I are going to start putting our things away, but just relax. And when you're ready, you can slowly open up your eyes. Allow that to take.
I forgot to mention that this is Humbat's crystal skull, his ancient crystal skull, Nagaku. It was given to him, came from Tibet. It was given to him. It's one of the 13 crystal skulls, and it was gifted to him. And when he passed, it passed to me, so that we can continue its work. Okay, so there'll be a conference in Chicago in September that will be with other people there doing some crystal skull work then. But there's a place over there that says you could sign books and things like that. We just brought a few things with us, but if you'd like to talk about anything, we have to exit the room so the next person can come in. But if anybody wants to talk about anything at all, it'll be over in that book signing area. Okay? Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. Thank you. I'm sorry?
You have to sound to a girl.
Oh, well, I want to be on time so the next person can get in here. So.
It was nice to have you guys here.
It really was
More at
nice.
home.